To the human race. Wonderful rendition, Akira. Pleasant surprise. So, Trinidad and Tobago, we are here on Inspire TT. We are here in SIPARIA, Deltones, and we are at Let's Build It. We're going to share the story today of what the pandemic has done, and it has caused this steel pan ban here in SIPARIA to pivot in a direction using reusable and upcycling. Reusable items like pallets, and they also have other projects to upcycle so that you can repurpose and be able to now put yourself in a position where you can use these items for other purposes. So we have Akinola Senon, who is also part of the SIPARIA Deltones, but is also part of Let's Build It. And we're going to have the conversation, but we're going to sit first on some of the pallets, chairs here in the workshop as we share once again a really interesting story about what is behind this project here on Inspire TT. Let's go. All right, so Trinidad and Tobago, I'm sitting here at Akinola Senon. I had Let's Build It. I know before you have heard some wonderful steel pan music with his rendition of Rash Shorty Eyes, Watch Out My Children. A powerful song that is indicative to many of us here in Trinidad because it talks definitely about the use of drugs and so many things you could interpret it to be. Akinola, tell me something. Where did this all start? Because we know we're in a steel pan band SIPARIA Deltones Spaniard, but there's something else happening here that is interesting, that is beyond what the mind could tell. And where did it start? Where did it all started for you?
Well, I think firstly, the yard or the space that we're in presently, the initial use of this space, since in the days of Dr. Eric Williams, was at the last train stop.
Yes.
So when trains operated in Trinidad and Tobago, this entire space would have been where when the trains came from Port of Spain. This was the space that they came to the last point before dropping off goods and delivering stuff, and then people in itself taking that journey down to the last stop to engage in all that this region has to offer before going back up to Port of Spain and that kind of thing. So I'm saying that this location was always a location that promoted and facilitated a high level of diversification and integration at large.
Wow,
so, when we were given the opportunity with via the father of the country, Eric Williams himself, to engage in the development of a steel band at the site here. Our founding fathers maintained that same spirit of integration and diversification on the site. So when us, I would say the present leadership of the Deltones Institute, took up the baton to run our leg of the relay, it's definitely within the continuation of the ideology of diversification and integration. We sought to further stand on the shoulders of our ancestors that went by, Mr. Terry Wallace, Mr. Ellis Knights and others, to ensure that our brand, is one that continues seeing steel pan at the epicenter and at the foundational core of the entire thing. but then it diversifies into so many other, projects, that has these synergies with the steel pan. One of these synergies definitely would be the thing of upcycling and reuse. Why? Steel pan in itself is a reuse program,
Correct.
reuse project. Steel pan today is still deemed, the world's, actually in many surveys, it's deemed the world's, greatest ever upcycling project.
Correct.
Taking this discarded barrel from of no value at all and making it into a symphonic orchestra that has found home all over the world. And it has transcended beyond a mere instrument that creates a good sound.
Correct.
But the steel pan in itself has become a social entrepreneurship vehicle. It has become a safe that transcends all borders and boundaries of race, class, sex, and everything else.
Yes.
So one of the programs, that we definitely, tend to develop out of this ideology is one that speaks to environment, but also speaks to entrepreneurship innovation, and definitely, and more critically and specifically, the thing of upcycling and reuse.
So what you're sitting on?
Well, presently right now, what I'm sitting on is a chair.
Yes.
A one-seater chair. I mean, to be exact, which is a member of a three-piece port set. But prior to this one-seater chair, was sitting on the side of the road, discarded, about to create a picture that is not deemed pleasing to the eyes. Or may have ended up in one of the already filled to maximum capacity landfills of the nation and cause it to be more filled. This was once a discarded pallet of no significance whatsoever. People pass by it daily and jumped over it. Some people chuck it aside with their foot and treated him in a type of manner.
Yes.
And then we had Pallets build it. Whilst observing him there, we said, come boy, we're going to turn you, which was once trash, employ upcycling, employ the use of craft, employ the use of wood technology, employ the use of art, and create it into what we see in here, a chair.
Beautiful. I know that, because of the COVID, stuff was affected, especially with the steel pan. Was that a part and parcel that would have given this initiative? Because I know diversification is something that you always have here at SIPARIA Deltones in regards of the legacy that you have told us before. What would have triggered this initiative to take pallets and create beautiful? Because I'm here and I'm seeing the furniture and it looks no different from what you see in a furniture store. I
think at the inception of the program, we started to do a lot of, I would say, community type projects. For example, at our festival that we have here called the Kusume Festival, we took on a project one of the years with I would say the co-founder of the festival, George Caesar. So we say, hey, see at this Kusume Festival, we're not going to rent a single plastic chair. We want no plastic chairs and no plastic tables in the entire festival. And it's to see, we took day and night for weeks upon weeks. The youth and them was camping at this space here and created something like 200 to 250 pallet chairs.
Wow.
And we did projects like that at the inception, but it's with the coming of the COVID and the pandemic is where we saw that, hey, economic diversification is something that we need to engage in now. And we need to move this from, beyond mere community type engagements and move it into that place of actually developing it as a business to serve a national capacity. But we definitely, also want to evolve through the passage of time. throughout not the very too long passage of time
Yes.
into exportation as well.
Yes. So what goes into making these? What's the thought process behind, making? Because we've seen a bed here, we've seen a table, we've seen a student's desk and seat, plus we've seen walls. I know there are wheelbarrows. There are so much different things happening here at Pallets Building. What goes into that? Is it just pure inspiration, or what goes into it?
There's a level of pure inspiration into it and vibes, but there's also a very calculated process, that bring balance to that vibe as well.
Could imagine, yes.
I think one of the things is doing that market study on what is needed.
Correct.
So, for example, during the pandemic, there was this craze for especially urban communities, or the concrete jungle, as we call it in South, for people to start to want to engage in agriculture.
Yes.
How do you engage in agriculture on concrete? How do you engage in agriculture in a building quite up wherever? So we started to produce some extremely innovative grow boxes.
Yes.
And, we just had the country on a grow box craze. We were delivering grow boxes on each corner and each, every street, every roadway, throughout the urban communities, in particular.
Yes.
But seriously though, apart from that, seeing what are the needs, and trying to develop products that are affordable, so that, that young man that, he is now developing a family, and he had minimum wage. And sometimes I don't want to call any names, but sometimes it's ridiculous for him to go and face certain institutions
yes.
to engage in attaining some of these things. So we develop, the furniture that's very affordable. Some of them are a bit more costly as well. Yes. Designer-made type looking things. And we have like a design department. A couple people that actually into art and design, furniture making, and some level of architecture and geometry and those kind of fields. Yes. And they would come up with the necessary designs. And then after these designs are passed down to the technicians, or the head technicians that actually do the making of the products. So after they would then develop the process, and the process is then taught to the other youths and persons involved in the program, and then they basically start manufacturing whatever is the line item from there.
Amazing. Just for Trinidad and Tobago and those who are, looking on at Inspire TT, this is just one of the many amazing stories of what Trinidadians are doing, and it says a lot for us as a people that we actually are in the aspects of diversifying our economy. And for you who are watching, we can get you can go to our Facebook page, you can like, share, comment, and even share the video to someone who may just be interested in something like this, or have that passion, to do something different and something that can be recycled, upcycled, or even reused. Is this something that you think should be mirrored, that you're have the intention to mirror this across? Because I know, like for instance, we have marginalized communities who may be close to landfills with nearly filled to capacity that have access to these materials. And is this something that you would, and is it something that is in mind, and you're looking for that support to go forward?
Definitely. At the landfills, the bordering communities to a lot of these landfills, we started seeing a situation where the youths of these respected communities, they were passing by daily and seeing pallets, just as we say, willy-nilly rest all over the place.
Yeah.
And then when they looked, because everybody on social media, when they saw on social media the type of things we were doing, they started to make contact with the leaders of their community to kind of reach out to us, to come into their communities to train them to do the same thing.
Wow.
Because they are like, if these youths who look just like me, they're within my age group, there's human beings just like me, why can't I do the same as well? Things are very hard for me where I am. Sometimes where when I had go to the interview room, because of my mere address, I already start at negative 50. So it seems like, you know, this option is a great option. So we definitely have plans to take this program and take this project to different communities, marginalized communities in particular, with a focus on it. We definitely would need support to do so.
Definitely.
We have already done so in this community of Sandy Grande, Damry Hill to be exact,
Nice.
partnering with the Hilltoppers Steel Pan Academy. You know, and the youth from Hilltoppers, they're always here. We go there, and there's that kind of, you know, relationship happening. And as you know, Sandy Grande is like far east.
Yes.
But we would definitely want to take the program into the western parts of Port of Spain, into the central parts as well, and further south. But at this point in time, you know, for we to successfully do so, now that we have this working module, a module that is inducing a certain level of innovativeness and entrepreneurial ability with the youths, you know, we definitely, at this point in time, want to call on corporate society and more so government, you know, to take up that kind of responsibility and add fuel to this vehicle that is already driving and already creating a certain level of transformation. But, you know, but adding more fuel to the vehicle will ensure that the vehicle is able to drive for a longer space of time.
Yes, that's so true.
You know, so I want to make that call, you know, to, especially to government, you know, to come in and support programs like these on the ground, you know, that is doing that necessary thing in transforming space, as we just say.
Of course.
Transforming space, but also in transforming the inhabitants of this space. Because if you transform space and the inhabitants of this space is left non-transformed, in no time, space will go back down to where it just came from.
Correct.
You know, so it's a double fold. We're engaging in environmental transformation, and we're engaging in the transformation of persons that inhabit the environment.
All right. Definitely an interesting, you know, interview with Akinola sent on here. As you know, I just want to add my opinion to what I've seen here. Definitely, this is a really interesting project. And what you're seeing, what we would consider waste being turned into beautiful furniture, is something that definitely has so much potential. And just touching a bit on Akinola's interview, when he would have spoken about diversification and where we are as a nation, definitely this is an opportunity, an avenue to create opportunities for so many people and communities by large. So what I'm going to do now is that we are going to the second leg of the interview, where we're going to have Michael, you know, getting a first-hand experience as to what goes into here at Pallet's Build It to build this wonderful furniture. And I'm actually sitting down on a pallet, well, a chair, right? It's a chair now. And definitely we would, you know, share the wonderful work that is happening here, and their plans to share this knowledge across the country. It's definitely a plus for us as we use our waste and turn it into something purposeful.
All right, guys, we are the last train stop here in SIPARIA, and we are the Deltones Pan Tent. And we're here with George, who turned into the pallet man, all right?
Well, kind of way, you know.
Because COVID
Well,
was all right?
yeah, you know, we had to do some diversification. So what I'll do today is kind of walk you through the process of making a grow box, basically.
We're gonna make, but guys, before we start, if you're watching the Inspire TT content online, go down to the bottom of the page, reshare. You join us, you can go across to the YouTube page, and you can also see content that you haven't seen before. And also too, guys, if you're watching us on television, welcome to Inspire TT. We're here to bring young entrepreneurships and see how they go from pan now to building pallet and creating different sectors and economic stimulus during this pandemic time. So what are we going to do here, George?
So first we want to solicit the services that we brethren here, Drew. He has this tool that has been fabricated just for this purpose here. And this tool is going to take out the pallets And from there we do a denailing. Go ahead, Joe.
Guys, we're going on the process that we're going to actually make a grow box, but this is the beginning stages, right? George, so when you say you develop this tool, what do you mean you develop this tool?
Well, we had to get a tool that would have performed the work of taking out the pallets without destroying them. So we had a brainstorming session with a few of the guys, and we decided this is the tool we wanted. We had a welder and he did the fabricating. Bam, we have the tool.
And I noticed you all trying to encourage more people to get involved in upcycling.
Of course, this is important because upcycling is the taking something that may not have been reused and using it for a purpose. Let me say a pallet is $10.
Yeah.
When we done build this grow box, the grow box sells for anywhere between $150 to $300. So it makes the pallet now even more expensive than it was before.
And young people like myself who don't know how to construct anything and that kind of bacchanal, how easy it is to learn the process?
No, we have taught youth who didn't know anything and didn't think they could have done this. And now they're spraying, they're painting, they're assembling, they're denailing, they're deconstructing, you know. So it's once you put your head to it, it's nothing that you can do.
What's the next step?
So we're going on to step 2. Step 2 now is taking the pallets.
Yeah.
They would come out with some nails to this probe. What it does now is remove the nails from in the pallet.
Why are you removing the nails from the pallet?
Now, the wood might need to cut.
Yeah.
And if the blade bounces with the nail, it could damage somebody. So we remove the nails so that we have good working space. And
so all of this is just raw materials.
This is raw material.
Where you get the idea to say, all right, I want to make a grow box. All right, I want to make a bed. I want to make a table. Where you get that idea?
Necessity is the mother of innovation. Okay. And we needed to come up with an idea to create grow boxes for persons that may not have land on their own. So after a couple sessions of brainstorming, we decided that we'd make some grow boxes. And we started with one grow box. Then we started with a 3-tier. Then we did grow boxes on wheels. But I want to put you through all of that. So we're making a normal grow box today. So I could gauge your technical ability and maybe we could go on further.
I don't know if you can see shock in eyes. Come on, you man start. I say, all that I got to make. All right, so you're going to make a simple grow box today, guys.
Well, I mean, what I want to do now is gauge your technical ability and maybe then I could give you, some other work.
Well, I'm a left hander, but I use my right hand, but I'm really supposed to be using my left, so.
Oh, wow.
You can understand what's going on there, guys.
So we're moving on to step 3.
Baby steps.
Right.
But we can give Akinola a little break so we could get better audio for the camera, yeah?
Now that we have the wood, we would like to cut it into the correct sizes.
Yeah.
So we have this saw on this end here, and we would measure the wood as we like it, and we cut the pieces that we need. So this grow box here, all the pieces cut already.
And guys, you have to understand this has a level of risk. So before you just jump into turning pallets into furniture, get some training. The guys willing to train.
Of course.
You know, we're using this is heavy equipment, right?
Of course.
We don't want you to go and get injured, but we also want you to see this segment and become inspired that you too can become your own entrepreneur.
Of course, with the right, supervision, you could do anything in it.
Well, George, Caesar, let me see what we're doing here now.
So we go in. So what we want to do is build the sides of the pallet first. And I'll kind of put you to work now. Let me see your skill. So what we want to do is get these screw on so that we could get the width properly. And you're going to get this screw in here. Let's see what kind of student he is.
Step 1. So which one we screwed?
You go in here. So this is the width of the wood.
Anyway. I dropped the screws.
Wow, hold on to the screw.
But our fingers.
So if you look at the width of the wood, you want to put it in the center of the wood. So if you see, you're getting a kind of line going on here. So that's you there.
Average in here. Right.
Slow line with the drill with a little force. Don't go too quick.
I screw too hard?
I give a 6. We'll go with a 6. Not too bad, sir.
Not too bad? All right,
so we don't want to go too deep with the screw. Go on again.
What's the demand like for the grow boxes?
The grow boxes, up until the first reopening of the place, was going like crazy. Our biggest order would have been 60 grow boxes in one day.
And as I said before earlier on in the segment, that for those who now coming in, share the content. Share the content. How much these grow boxes normally go for?
That would be more like 100. This size would go like for 100. There are different variations.
And how important it is during the pandemic for people to see innovation and understand and appreciate innovation?
Inspiration anytime is always accepted, because you never know what you're capable of sometimes until you see somebody do it. So, you know, the fact that you're getting something to plant in, you know, goes a long way even further to show that, hey, you could do that too.
Wow. And for people out there who say, you know, things getting harder, we're looking for a job, what's your advice in terms of the entrepreneurship?
I would say that the Almighty put you in the place where everything that you need right around you. So sometimes it only takes looking in to know where you're really for. You know?
Okay. True, you hear that, guys? Self-introspection, and you could... So you're finding your own talent?
Of course.
Yeah. So say take it slow. And then drive.
Good boy. What now, you're getting the hang of this thing, you know?
Yeah.
If CNC3 never work out, I always have a space for you here.
I'll go be captain of the screw hour.
Captain of the screw, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it first, right here on Inspire TT.
Right.
All right. So we looking good here so far. Going to the next.
I realize
side.
that your construction and based on looking at from the other furniture, you use very minimal materials.
You see, everything out of the pallet is used. So what we do, every week, we take the scraps that cannot be used and we carry it to the farm and we do some mulching there, where we would set off some for compost and the other we mix into soil to give it that porosity that is required so the water could run through properly.
Wow, so not just the pallets, you're also upcycling and
of
using
course.
down to these little scraps that are sitting on the ground.
Everything uses.
Everything.
Nothing wastes.
All right.
I mean, guys, if Michael could do it, all you could do it too, you know.
I know if that is a compliment, you know.
But I mean, look at the skill that you're portraying while doing this.
You a family man, George?
I would say so.
So, what is it like for you in terms of to help inspire the youths out there and to help inspire others out there? What was it like to pivot from being a music man and now actually constructing and providing for your family?
So before the pandemic hit, we host some festivals at the venue here, where we were making all the pallets that were used. We didn't have any plastic chairs at all. So a lot of the youths were, you know, getting their hands in at that period. So we have seen, you know, what it could do. A good many of our technicians as well, you know, have garnered skills here that they use now to mind their families and that kind of thing.
So, and this might be a side note, but we're in a Panton. You looking forward to Pan coming back?
Boy, I didn't know for myself I could have take this long without doing that thing now.
How you feeling now you can't play your Pan music?
Boy, this tough, it's really tough. And I would say that for me, you know, who's been in it for a long time, what about people who now getting into it and, you know, that kind of thing. So, we onto this stage here, kind of turn over this fella, and we get in this man inside. So, we'll put it, screw in this first.
All right, guys, so make sure if you see any content here on Inspire TT, make sure go on the bottom of the page, make sure and share. I'm gonna hold this, George, And if you're watching us on television, welcome to the show. I'm building a grow box. Trying to pay attention, because we don't want to get injured.
Trying.
You're
doing a good job at it so far.
I hear you, George. But you're a good teacher, man.
I would say so myself.
And on the topic of the national instrument, some people might say steel pan dying. What's your opinion?
I would say it's not. But I would also say there's a lot of work to be done to get the youths as interested in it as I was when I was their age.
Yeah.
But what we do is start them off a little younger. So the last Panorama, which was 2020,
Yeah.
we had 9-year-olds performing on the Panorama stage. Yeah, so I would say Pan dying.
And what we could potentially grow in this grow box?
Lettuce, pak choy, pimento, sweet pepper, okra, you name it. I would suggest short crops mostly.
And you use the same mulch from materials that, so nothing going to waste.
No. So in order to be able to use all of it, we as well opened a soil company as well. So we do a lot of mixture with this mulch, broken down sawdust, topsoil, and chicken, duck, rabbit manure, as much manure as we get. So you get the grow box with the manure and plants if you want that too.
How important it is, you think, for us in Trinidad to continue that community mindset moving forward?
I think it is important for us to grow our own food. Because if you look at the shipping costs on food now, we sure food only going to go higher. So how about supplementing that with planting your own kitchen garden? That saves up to $300, $350 a month.
All right, guys, so we're going to use one of the heavy pieces of equipment. George had enough confidence to leave me with the saw. I don't know about the confidence level, but we go ahead. George, what are you doing here?
Yeah, you cut there, brother.
You see, we had the line, so you say, measure twice,
yes,
cut
once.
Right? Is that going to work there?
Pull it out. What you want to do is start the blade before you try to cut the wood.
All right.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael with the cutting of the wood.
George, I lose my finger there, man.
No, you didn't. Don't say that. Don't say that. You thought you did.
I thought, Trinidad, my heart was in my belly.
Line him up there.
Line him up, right. And guys, through the magic of television, we're going to see the final grow box up next. I find George come close to my finger there, you know. You get right there, George.
I mean, skill is skill, you know.
I hear you. Magic at television, we finished the grow box. Want to see on the base, what we doing on the base of the grow box?
So what we want to do is soak some newspapers and put it to the bottom so that you prevent that soil. But what it will always also do is that gravity go pull out the water from any newspaper. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
How you gonna rate, man?
I'll give you a 9 out of 10 today.
So high?
I'm telling you.
I thought I gave 5, you know.
You was actually really inspirational to the process of the job, you know.
I hear you.
So I must thank you for that. But you'll also need to pay for this grow box.
I hear you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Grow boxes made simple by Pallet's Build It.
Pallet's Build It. We're here in SIPARIA. But we have a little treat for you before we close off today's segment. And before we do, make sure you share that video. Guys, thanks for joining us here on Inspire TT. We're going to have more segments for you. Go across to our Facebook and YouTube page. There are content that you have never seen before. Just as we are here today, and we'll show you the process here at Pallet's Build It. But let's go over to the guys now and close today's segment with some nice musical melodies.
the bone. Knee to the bone.